Anyone that you prove to be wiser than proves to be an enemy. You're welcome. Ansuma, daswa, memamachi, kwallafia, ekaro, subahul khair, good morning, bonjour. Here in this episode, we're going to section 7. We shall see that it continues with the admonition of jinns and men about God's messengers. It also talks about pagans, warns pagans, and their practice of creating partners with God. Let's go to straight to the section, and that is section 16. That is 16. Ya 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 mashar jinn, ya mashar jinn wal insin. Alam yatikum rasulun minkum yaksuna alaykum ayati وينذرونكم للقاء يوم للقاء يومكم هذا يومكم. Let me break it into I think it's long. يا معشر الجن والإنس يا معشر الجن والإنس. O ye assembly of jinns and men. Ya معشر الجن والإنس. O ye assembly of jinns and men. I think we did jinns before, dwarves, in other words, in short. والإنس. ألم يأتيكم رسول منكم. Came there not unto you messengers from among you? Came there not messengers from among you? Alam yatikum rusulun minkum. Alam yatikum rusulun minkum. Came there not unto you messengers from among you? Yakusuna alaykum ayati. Yakusuna alaykum ayati. Setting forth unto you my signs. That's God's signs. SIGNS. So you see why in my channel, I say signs in the Quran and signs in the tabloids. Ayati, my signs. So this is God addressing the jinns and women. And later, as we can see, as well as pagans and idol worship, like I said earlier. Ayati وينظرونكم للقاء يومكم هذا وينظرونكم للقاء يومكم هذا, and warning you ينظرونكم warning you. I've talked about Nazir here. Warning. ينظرونكم للقاء Yeah, yanzurunakum likai. Likai, or likaa, sorry, likaa. Yanzurunakum likaa yomikum haza. Warning you of the meeting of this day of yours. Yomikum haza, this day of yours. Yomikum haza, this day of yours. It's a question. These days of yours. Kalu, they will say. Kalu, they will say. Or they say. Kalu, they will say. Uh, Kalu, shahidna ala anfusina. Shahidna ala anfusina. They will say, we bear witness against ourselves. That's judgment day. They will admit, or they will confess, if you like. They will admit, we bear witness against ourselves. Kalu shahidna ala anfusina. وغرتهم وغرتهم الحيوات الدنيا وغرتهم الحيوات الدنيا. It was the life of the world that deceived them. Hayatul dunya, the life of the world, Hayatul dunya, dunya is world, dunya is also in Hausa. Hayatul dunya, the life of the world. Garatna deceived us. Wagaratna, also Wagaratum deceived them. This Allah still talking. God is talking still. Wagaratuhum al hayatul dunya. They will say, we bear witness. The life of it was. They will say it was the life of this world that deceived them. Sorry. God is now speaking. It was the life of this world that deceived them. So it's a warning to us. We shouldn't allow the life of this world to deceive us. Simple. That's the meaning. Because that's what the jinns will say and evil men will say. The God is telling them that they allow themselves to be deceived by the life of this world. So, if we reflect, we ask ourselves, should we allow the life of this world to deceive us? Simple. Cars, aeroplanes, mansions, women, should we allow it to deceive us? That's the meaning of it. Garatna al-habatul dunya. وشهدنا على أنفسهم. Yes. وشهدوا على أنفسهم أنهم كانوا كافرين. وشهدوا على أنفسهم أنهم كانوا كافرين. So against themselves will they bear witness that they rejected faith. وشهدهم. So against themselves will they bear witness. Shahid whom they will bear witness. Allah anfusihum, against themselves that they rejected faith. Annahum kanu kafirin. Most of us have heard this word kafiri, 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 those who have rejected faith. That was 130. We now go to 131. Zalika an lam yakun rabuka mulika. Zalika an lam yakun rabuka mulika kura bizulmin. Uh, the messengers were sent. This is in brackets. The messengers were sent thus, for the Lord would not destroy the towns unjustly. So he sends messengers to us to warn us instead of coming straight away to destroy us. No, he never destroys without warning. Simple. It's there somewhere in the Quran, many places. Before he would destroy, there will be warning. It's like your child, you are doing something, say, hey, John, be careful. Or you tell your wife, be careful, I don't like this. Pardon me, it happens. Or your servant, be careful. You don't just go and then punish them. So he will warn before he will punish. That's God. Mm. Um, Zalika and lam yakun rabuka, your Lord, mulika, destroy al-Qura bizulmin, destroy the towns unjustly, bizulmin, unjustly. Wa, wa, wa ahliha gafilun. Wa ahliha gafilun. The occupants unjustly, whilst the occupants were unwarned. Let me take it again. Into brackets, the messengers were sent, brackets closed. Thus, for thy Lord would not destroy the towns unjustly while the occupants were unwarned. Eh? Wa ahliha gafilin. Wa ahliha gafilin. While the occupants, ahliha, their occupants, the occupants of the towns, wa ahliha gafilin, while they are unwarned. So he warned before he will take action. And you can see many places, historians have told us before bringing punishment upon people, he warns them. He sends messages to them. They refuse. They refuse. Sorry, what word do I use? They make jest of them. Some beat them. Some are beaten until God says, no, enough is enough. Okay. That was 131. Why they are unwarned. Okay, we go to 132. وَلِكُلٍّ darajatu mimma amilu ولكل darajatun mimma amilu. To all are degrees or ranks according to their deeds. So on Judgment Day, if you are a murderer, your punishment is different from somebody who was committing adultery. And it's different from somebody who was breaking into people's rooms while they are not there. And different from somebody who was stealing foods. Darajat in degrees, ranks, according to their deeds. وَلِكُلٍّ دَرَجَاتٌ مِمَّا عَمِلُوا. Okay. وَمَا رَبُكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. وَمَا رَبُكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. For thy Lord is not unmindful of anything that they do. Whatever you are doing, your Lord is mindful of it. Though you are oblivious of it, you don't know, you just go and no. Because you don't see God people from somewhere. He won't be from somewhere. He's all around you. He encompasses you, encompasses everything. So he doesn't need to hide and see you. Only a human being will go and hide somewhere, lurch somewhere, and then look, no. So he's not unmindful of anything that they do. وَرَبُّكَ غَنِيٌّ ذُو الرَّحْمَنِ. وَرَبُّكَ غَنِيٌّ ذُو الرَّحْمَنِ. Thy Lord is self-sufficient, Ganiyun, self-sufficient. So when they call somebody Ganiyun, you've been hearing it. Ganiyun means self-sufficient. Uh, but it should actually be Abdul Ganiyun. We normally remove the Abduls, and then it's left Ganiyun. Warabuka Ganiyun, Zurrahman. Your Lord is self-sufficient, full of mercy. Zul Rahman, full of mercy. In Yesha'a, Yashibukum wa yastalifu wa yastalifu min bagdakum ma yasha'a. Let's stop there. If it were his will in Yesha'a, he could destroy you. In Yesha'a, Yahalukum. What is it? Ganiyun. In Yesha'a, Yashibukum. In Yesha'a, Yashibukum. If it were his will, he could destroy you. Yashibukum. وَيَسْتَلِفُ مِنْ بَعْدِكُمْ. He will destroy you, and in your place appoint whom he will as your successors. وَإِنْ يَشَاءَ يَسِبُكُمْ وَيَسْتَخْلِفُ مِنْ بَعْدِكُمْ after you مَا يَشَاءَ, whom he will. كما أنشأكم من ذريته قوم آخرين. So he could destroy you, and in your place appoint whom he will as your successors, even as he raised you up from the posterity of other people. كما إنشأكم من ذريته قوم آخرين. He will, and in your place appoint whom he will as your successors, even as he raised you up from the prosperity of other people. Qawmin ahirin, other people. We go to 134. Innama tu'aduna la'aitin. Innama tu'aduna la'atin. All that hath been promised unto you will come to pass. Inna ma tu'aduna, what he promised you, la'atin will come to pass. Inna ma tu'aduna la'atin will come to pass. So anything that God promises you will come to pass. Here is like, so what is the promise here? The promise here is punishment. It's like speaking in tongues. He's not promising you anything. The punishment that he has promised you will come to pass. It's like a proverb. Inamatu aduna la'atin will come to pass. Wama antum bimajizina. Wama antum bimujizina. Wama antum bimujizina will come to pass, nor can ye frustrate it in any. Can you frustrate it in the least bit? So nobody can frustrate what he has promised you. Nobody can frustrate the coming of what God has promised you. That's what this means. Wama antum bi mujizina. You cannot frustrate to. You, in plural, cannot frustrate what God has promised to come to you. So that's why I say promise here is like, uh, it's not, doesn't mean real promise or promise of good, but promise of evil, punishment. Because yeah, that's why I say you cannot frustrate it. Nobody will frustrate the promise of good. Mm? So, sorry, the word I wanted to use has escaped me. Mm? Mhm. Then 135, Kul ya qaumi alamu, sorry, ya qaumi amalu ala makanatihim, amalu ala makanatihim, sorry, amalu ala makanatikum, amalu ala makanatikum, anni amilun. Okay, let's take the first part first. Kul ya qaumin amalu ala makanatikum. Say, oh my people, he's telling who? Muhammad to say, oh my people, do whatever you can. So Muhammad then tells his people, do whatever you can. So that's what Muhammad is telling us here. Do whatever you can. And Anni Amilun. So then Muhammad then comes again to say, I will do my part. Anna Amilun. So he has done what God has asked him to do, and God is now telling him, tell them that you, Muhammad, you've done your part. Anni Amilun. The my part is in brackets, so you look at your Quran, you may not see it. Do say, oh my people, do whatever you can. I will do. That's the end. But then our wise interpreters here have added into brackets my part, because I will do doesn't make much meaning when it comes to English. I will do my part. Do whatever you want to do. That's what he has ordered Muhammad to tell us. Do whatever you want to do. I will do my part. And of course, it's not only Muhammad, all the prophets. They will tell their people, do whatever you want to do. For me, I've come to do my part. I just came to obey God. I don't judge. So do whatever you want to do. I will do my part. Amalu ala makanatihim, ala makanatikum inni amilun. فسوف تعلمون من يكون له عاقبة دنيا. فسوف تعلمون من يكون له عاقبة دنيا. Soon will ye know. Soon will you know who it is whose end will be best in the hereafter. So this is still Muhammad talking. If you refuse to do what he says, he will do his part, and soon you will know who it is in the hereafter. Let me see. Soon will you know who it is whose end will be best in the hereafter. So Muhammad is again talking as ordered by the Almighty God. So when you hear the word soon, you say, how soon? Soon? Our time is nothing compared to God's time. We see the time as long, 1,000 years as long. No, God sees it as one day. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere it says 5,000 years equals a day, or 50,000. 50,000 years equals a day in God's world, in the spiritual world. So 50,000 years. So if God says soon, the time may be 50,000 years to come. Nobody knows. God knows it. He knows the time. He knows the Sa'a or Sa'atun time. So when you say soon, we ordinary people will say, soon, soon, soon. You live. Your grandparents came and met it and left, and your great grandfathers came, your grandparents came, your mothers and fathers came, and you say soon, 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 soon. Listen to preachers. Listen to the Christians when they tell you soon. When they tell you the hour is coming, Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon. You think they are joking. They are not joking. Jesus will surely come. The world will surely face judgment soon. The soon here will not make any meaning to you. It makes meaning to people who believe in the scriptures. All right. سوف تعلمون من يكون له عاقبة dunya, the end of the world, who will be the best at the end of the world, who will be best in the hereafter. Then it asks, إنه لا يفلح ظالمون. إنه لا يفلح ظالمين. The wrongdoers will not prosper. Certain it is that the wrongdoers will not prosper. Present English, we say it is certain that the wrongdoers will not suffer. But here in Arabic, it's normally the stress comes first. The certainty is the stress, so that comes first. Certainty is what is the preferred message. The priority of the message is the certainty of the coming. You know, I'm laughing, sorry. There's the certainty of the coming. Yes, let me say, we had a geography master. He was a sixth form graduate, and we're short of geography master, so he was asked to come and teach us. We call him Abosh. Abosh, if you are listening, my apologies now. Somebody asked him. He kept on calling continental margin, and hitting the side of the fist on the blackboard. Continental margin. So somebody got up and asked him, Master, what is continental margin? We don't know what continental margin is. Without knowing, the master himself didn't know. So he asked various people in the class, and they said they don't know. And so he was forced to explain. He said, continental margin? You don't know what continental margin is? He said, no. He said, continental margin, hitting the blackboard like this, is continental margin. Continental margin is the continentality of the margin. So that's why I say it's the certainty of the coming. So continental margin is the continentality of the margin. He was lucky McDonald, Mr. Collins George McDonald, the headmaster, was not around. So we laughed. Okay, so we are talking about the certainty of the coming. Okay. The wrongdoers will not prosper. Yes, that's where we go to. Certain it is that the wrongdoers will not prosper. Sorry for wasting time. It's part of the game. God won't punish me for it. It's only a boy who can feel sad about it, but I ask for his apology first. Okay, we go to 136. وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ مِمَّا زَرَعَ مِنَ الْحَرْثِ وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ مِمَّا زَرَعَ مِنَ الْحَرْثِ. Out of what God had produced in abundance, in filth, and in cattle, in tilth. Let me continue. وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ مِمَّا زَرَعَ مِنَ الْحَرْثِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ. So let's stop there. Out of what Allah hath promised, out of what Allah has produced. Uh, Out of what God has produced in abundance in tilth and cattle. Mm? Uh, من الحرث والأنعام نسيبا فقالوا لو هذا لله وقالوا هذا لله بزعمهم وهذا لشركائنا. I think here he's talking about the pagans. Mm. Out of what God had produced in abundance in tilth and cattle, harsi, wal an army, they assigned him a share. Haza lillahi. Can you imagine giving a God a share of what he, God, has produced, giving them? So you can see that this is not the proper God they are talking about. Mm? Yeah, giving, sharing something and say this is for God. Does it make sense? Okay. Uh, out of what had out of what God had produced in abundance in tilth and cattle, tilth spelled Tilth, and cattle harvest, well, an army, they assigned him a share. Nasibun, or Nasiban. I will come to another name, Nasiba. They call somebody Nasiba, especially the women. Nasiba here means share, maybe share of blessing or share of goodness. So when you hear somebody called Nasiba, is there in Arabic where it's a popular name or it's not unpopular? If it's not popular, but it's not unpopular, Nasiba, it's share, or portion or allocation. Share of what? Of blessing, of good things, of good tidings. Nasiba. Nasibun. Nasibun, Fakalu, well, an army, Nasibun, Fakalu, Haza lillahi, they say this is for God. Eh? Mihim, sorry, bizamihim. Eh? They say, as this assigned the share, they say, according to their fancies, that's according to their fancies, bizamihim, according to their fancies, bizamihim, they say, Haza, Haza lillahi, with their fancies. Wahaza be with their fancies, according to their fancies, be zamihim, they say this is for God. Haza the lie. Wahaza lishuraka ina. Wahaza lishuraka ina. So they say this is for God and this is for our partners. What does partners mean here? The partners they have ascribed to God, the idols. So they say they give God a share and they give their idols a share. Does it make sense? They give God a share and then they give their idols a share. And this is what God hates most according to the Quran. What he hates, number one, probably, yes, number one, is sharing partners with him. But they ignorantly did it over and over and over again. And this is what the prophets came to warn them about. The Arabs were doing it. So the religion came down on their land, not because they are specially chosen, but because they were stubborn. The chosen ones were the Israelis, but they also became stubborn. But the Quran came down in the Arab language because the Arabs were stubborn. Mm. Uh, uh, Haza lishuraka for our partners. فما كان فما كان لشركائهم فلا يصل إلى الله فما كان لشركائهم فلا يصل إلى الله. We stop at first. But the share of their partners reaches not God. وما كان where is it? فما كان لشركائهم فَلَا يَسِبُّ إِلَى اللَّهِ. So their share, the share of their partners, doesn't get to God actually. Hmm? But let's see the other way around. وَمَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ وَمَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ full stop. وَمَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ فَهُوَ يَسِلُّ إِلَى إِلَى شِرَكَائِهِمْ. On the other way around, while the share of God reaches their partners on the other, but the share of their partners reaches not God, whilst the share of God reaches their partners. So even though they say this is for God and this is for their partners, the share of their partners never reaches God, but God's share reaches their partners. I hope viewers you understand this. Because God doesn't need share. God rather gave them everything that they were sharing. So it is God's share He has given to them. It's given to the partners. So how does the partner share get to Him? Him, God. No, He doesn't even need it. So the share of the partners does not get to God, but God's share gets to the partners of the pagans. Well, confusing, but it's not. It's not. There seems to be confusion. No, but there's no confusion here. Hmm? وما كان لله, let's see, لشركائهم فلا يسيب إلى الله. Wow, yes. وما كان لله فهو يسل إلى شركائهم. Oh yeah, we've done that, sorry. Then it asks, ساء ما يحكمون. ساء ما يحكمون. Evil, sa'a, and unjust, in brackets, sa'a, evil and unjust is their judgment. Ma yahkumun. So this is how they judge. They judge that they give their partners something and God something. That's their judgment. And they think they are the best of judges. And they think they are the best of judges. But they don't know that evil, where is it? They don't know that evil and unjust is their judgment. Yes. So what they were doing, they thought they were the best of judges. They judged well, giving God partners some, and then they some. Of course, the part that they say they are giving to God, it remains with the leaders for them to chopulate. If you look for chopulate in the dictionary, you won't get it. I'm afraid. For them to chop. Chop either you won't get it. Okay, chop you may get it, but a different meaning. Okay. Ma kanu yahkumuna, what they judge. 37. وكذلك زينا لكثير من المشركين قتل أولادهم شركاؤهم ليردوا وهم ليلبسون. Let me shorten it. I myself am before I read, I'm confused. So let me shorten it for everybody, for myself and for others. وكذلك زينا للكثير من mushrikina. Let's wait there. Let's stop there. So, even so, wakazalika, even so, in the eyes of most of the pagans, the katira, min al mushrikina, in the eyes of most of the pagans, their partners made zina. Like I say, the words, they are not in Arabic, they are placed according to priority of emphasis. Zina, la liorum, comes first. So here in English we say, even so, the eyes of most of the pagans, even so in the eyes of most of the pagans, their partners made alluring the slaughter of their children. So the word alluring is emphasized here. Their partners made alluring the slaughter of their children. So you can see that the Arabs used to slaughter even their children. So were it not for the Quran, how would they be behaving? How would the Arabs be behaving? Sorry, I'm Arabs. I'm not talking. This is the Quran that is talking. And you can see today, you take maid servants to different countries, you hear horrible complaints about those in the Arab land, Saudi Arabia. Pardon me. You don't hear it in Europe, you see, even though the Quran came down to them. So that's why we say the Quran comes down to people who are wicked, who need to be changed. And thank God they've changed a lot. Hmm? Uh, oh, وما كان لله فهو يصل إلى شركائهم. Like, uh-huh. Where we go to the slaughtering of their children. كذلك زينا لكثيرا من المشركين قتل أولادهم. Yes, قتل أولادهم شركاؤهم ليردوا وهم ليلبسون. The slaughter of their children in order to lead them to their own destruction. Hmm? ليردوا ليريدهم ليريدهم ليريدوهم وليلبسوا يريدوهم وليلبسوا uh, in order to lead them يريدوه to their own destruction. ليريدوهم وليلبسوا to their own destruction and cause confusion in their religion. ويلبسوا sorry وليلبسوا عليهم دينهم يلبسوا عليهم دينهم ليلبسوا عليهم دينهم and cause confusion in their religion دينهم in their religion. ولو شاء الله ما فعلوه. If God wished, they wouldn't even do that. وما كان الله لا فعلوه وما كان ولو كان الله ما فعلوه. If God had willed, they would not have done so. So people will ask, but where was God when they were doing this? God has answered it. He knows. If he wished, he would have not made them to do that. Only God, nobody can challenge God. Yeah, like I say, the wise ones, those who think they are wise, they will have, you, God, where were you when they were slaughtering their children? But God has come to answer it. If it were his wish, they wouldn't have done that. Everything that God does is for a purpose, which we don't know. Or some of the purpose we can speculate. Because now he's using it to teach us a lesson, to prevent other people from doing it. If they hadn't done it earlier and these messages hadn't come, today I tell you, we would have been slaughtering our children. It's even still happening. Even it's still happening now that there is, what do you call it, internet. You hear them always. In Nigeria, in Kenya, and even somehow in Ghana here. You slaughter somebody, make pepper soup. What the Nigerians call pepper soup. Or barbecue. And yum, man meat, human meat. So if God had wished, they wouldn't have done it. So God has come to answer the critics or those in doubt that if he had wished, they wouldn't have done it. Uh, If God had willed, they would not have done it. عليهم دينكم ولو شاء الله ما فعلوه فذروهم وما يفترون فذروهم وما يفترون فذروهم وما يفترون. But leave them alone. ذروهم. But leave them alone. وذروهم. Leave them alone. وما يفترون. But leave alone them. So the words have changed. But you leave alone them, or leave them alone, and what they forged. Ma yaftarun. What they forged. Ma yaftarun. Oh, I think we have. I don't know if we can finish this. I think we should stop here and continue and finish it up in another episode. Time is going. So we will come back to continue 138 in our next episode. So viewers, bear with me. Before I finish, time would have gone so far. And so let's get our ears ready to listen. When we come back, we see the continuation of it. And that, like I say, we will continue from 138. Thank you very much. Ila likai. Bye-bye. God bless you all.